and welcome back to the Auntie Lisa Show. Okay, what should we do a story about today? In the silver bag, we have Nanny and GugGug. And, oh goodness me, JB again. And Auntie Lisa, Aleksander and Kristoffer. How lucky. Right, in the red bag have Sky and Owen. I think Owen is my favourite. Right, bag of random things. I've added to the bag of random things. Although there's quite a lot in here, so I don't know if they'll come out. Superpowers. Excellent. And a bag of places. I've also added a bag of places. Oh dear. The toilet. Where to begin? I don't know. Right. One day, Auntie Lisa, Aleksander and Kristoffer decided to go and see their friend JB. And they went to see JB at JB's lab and saw all the cool experiments that JB was doing. And JB was super excited to see them. She was like, "Hey, y'all, would you like some coffee?" And Auntie Lisa said, "Oh, yes, please." And Aleksander and Kristoffer said, "Oh, can we have some water, please?" And JB said, "Yeah, that's fine." So everybody sat down and had a nice drink at JB's lab. And while they were there, they got a phone call from Nanny and GugGug. That's right. Beep, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, beep. Aleksander and Kristoffer answered it. And they said, "Hello, Nanny and GugGug. How are you?" Nanny and GugGug said, "Yeah, we're fine. We were just saying hello." And Aleksander and Kristoffer said, "Oh, okay. Well, we are just at JB's lab. And we're having a nice drink. And Auntie Lisa's having a coffee." And Nanny and GugGug said, "Oh, that sounds great. We love coffee. Can we come round too?" And Aleksander and Kristoffer said, "Yeah, sure." So, Nanny and GugGug also came to JB's lab. And they sat down with JB, who was super excited to meet them, and had some of JB's super duper amazing coffee. And everything was going perfectly until GugGug needed the toilet. GugGug. GugGug said, "I'm just going off to the toilet. Where's the toilet?" And he didn't talk like that, really. And JB said, "Oh, it's right back there, but make sure you watch out, okay? Can get a little bit spooky." And GugGug said, "Just go to the toilet." Anyway, so off GugGug went to the toilet, which, lucky for GugGug, was a top quality super duper toilet with excellent flushing facilities, and it played music, which JB hadn't mentioned. GugGug enjoyed himself in there so much he almost forgot to go to the toilet. But eventually he came back. He said, "Oh, that was the best toilet ever. You guys should all check it out." So everybody went to the toilet in there, and they enjoyed the fun music that was playing in JB's toilet, and all the fun things, like all the different buttons on the wall where you could get like a special spray to clean your bottom, and a special air blow to dry it off, And also it had special smells in case you're being stinky. Like lavender and other flowers like lilies. They smell great. And freshly cut grass and stuff like that. It was the nicest toilet anyone had ever been in, ever. And JB said, well, you know what, you guys? You gotta have a good toilet because that's where you spend your thinking time. Now, did you see anything else interesting in there? And everyone said, no, we just loved all the different buttons and gadgets and things. Like the thing that sucked the water off your hands after you dried them. That was super cool. JB said, oh, so you didn't get a visitor? And everyone said, no, why should we have had a visitor? Nobody wants a visitor in the toilet. Ooh. And JB said, well, that's lucky. Because lately, we've been having some interesting visitors to the toilet. And Aunty Lee said, oh, I'm really glad that you kind of told us this after we'd all been to the toilet, actually, JB. JB said, well, it's okay. I mean, it's not so scary a visitor. It's just more of, how can I put this? A little bit of a cute visitor, actually. Yes, I think it's a cute visitor. And everyone went, a cute visitor to the toilet? Sometimes, JB, we wonder about you. JB said, oh, you guys, you're so funny. So, having all enjoyed the toilet facilities and being a little bit curious about what the cute visitor to the toilet was, and had a nice cup of coffee and a sit down, they said, well, what else are we going to do with our day? And they thought to themselves, do you know what I'd love to do? I'd love to take a trip up into the sky, said Aleksander. I'd love to fly around and see what there is to see and look at all the people like teeny tiny ants on the floor. I think that'd be great fun. And Kristoffer said, well, I would like to see some dinosaurs because Kristoffer does love a dinosaur. And so they all thought to themselves, well, maybe we could see if Sky's free. She has a helicopter after all. She might be able to give us a little show around, and then maybe we could stop off and visit Owen down at Jurassic World and see some dinosaurs. I thought that was a pretty good idea. But just as they were getting themselves ready to go out, they heard a funny noise. And it went like this. And they went, what's that funny noise, JB? JB said, oh, I think that's our special little visitor guy. It comes to the toilet, remember? Everyone went, yeah. What is that again, JB? JB said, well, why don't y'all just come and have a look-see? And so they did. And do you know what they saw? Well, it was kind of a cute visitor. It was something kind of fluffy and had really big eyes, like cute wise eyes, and it had a little fluffy nose, and it was really, really good at climbing, and it was called a bush baby, which is a special creature from the rainforest that is super fluffy and usually only comes out at night. This particular bush baby had been enjoying playing around in amongst all the pipes that were in the really super fancy toilet. And the special thing about this bush baby was it was a little bit magical. And I say that because sometimes it would climb and sometimes it would just disappear and reappear somewhere else. And you'd think, wow, that's super weird. It's like it's a ghost, but it's not a ghost. It's a super cute bush baby. And where on earth did it come from? And how on earth did it end up in JB's toilet? And what on earth is it eating in there? That's an important question. JB said, don't you just think it's the cutest little guy though? Kinda spooky, but so friendly. And everyone said, yeah, I don't mind him being in the toilet with us. He's super cute and so friendly looking. That's fine. But we should probably figure out where he's come from. Maybe he's got lost and he needs our help. And JB said, yeah, I think so, you know. I've been putting out little bits of food for him all week, but sometimes he just disappears. I think he maybe goes swimming in some of the pipes. That's where that funny bing noise comes from. And Aunty said, yeah, that sounds like it would make that noise. JB said, well, anyway, let's all go for our lovely day out, and maybe while we're out, we can figure out what to do. So they called up Sky, who was very excited. And she said, oh my God, that would be amazing. Let's all go for an amazing trip around in my helicopter. So she brought her helicopter down and everyone climbed in. It was a brand new helicopter and it was really big, which was lucky because it needed to fit Nanny and GugGug, Aleksander, Kristoffer, Aunty Lisa and JB inside. And so she started flying. And as she started flying, the rotor blades were whirring like this. There were 2 rotor blades, by the way. That's why I'm doing 2 hands. It was, in fact, a Chinook, which is the only kind of helicopter that Aunty Lisa's ever been in. But that's another story. So, off they went. And they looked down at all over the place. They looked and they could see all the people looking teeny tiny from down there, all the way down on the ground when they were up in the helicopter. And they looked down and they could see all the cars, and the cars looked teeny tiny too. And then they flew over Jurassic World, and all the dinosaurs looked not so teeny tiny, but pretty small from way up there. And they waved at Owen. Hello, Owen! And then a terrible thing happened. GugGug fell out of the helicopter. But, and it's a big but, then an even more amazing thing happened, which was that he didn't fall splat on the ground. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? What actually happened was he disappeared. And then reappeared back in the helicopter. And everyone went, what? That is super crazy, GugGug. We thought you were a goner for sure. And here you are, back in the helicopter. And GugGug was beside himself. He said, well, I was convinced I was a goner. I've fallen and fallen. I just thought, I wish I was still in that helicopter. And blink, I kind of zapped myself back here. That was pretty good, right? And everyone said, that was pretty blooming amazing, GugGug. Thank goodness for that. So, eventually they all landed at Jurassic World. And they explained to Owen about this weird thing that happened to GugGug. And Owen said, wow, that's a crazy superpower you've got there, GugGug. GugGug said, thanks. Didn't even know I could do it. It's amazing, isn't it? Everyone said, yeah, it's pretty awesome. Anyway, so Owen took them on a tour of all the different dinosaurs. And just as they were approaching the T-Rex enclosure, a potentially terrifying thing happened, which was this. The T-Rex broke out. The T-Rex escaped from the T-Rex enclosure, and it was like, it was hungry. And everyone went, ah! And just as the T-Rex was starting to chase them, a weird thing happened to Aleksander and Kristoffer. They turned around and they went like this. Stop right there! And their hands shot out a super wave of power. And the T-Rex went, and Aleksander and Kristoffer went, what just happened? High five. Cool. They had superpowers that could send out shockwaves. And the T-Rex had gone flying back into the cage. And just in the nick of time, Owen had shut the doors. No one got eaten. Wow. These were some pretty nifty superpowers that they and GugGug had. And Nanny was starting to wonder what was going on. She said to herself, everyone seems to be getting superpowers. I wonder what's going on. I wonder if I've got any superpowers too. She looked up at the sky and had a little think. And then she realised that she couldn't feel anything under her feet. And she went, huh? And Nanny was floating just a teeny tiny way off the ground. And everyone looked at Nanny and Nanny looked at everyone and she went, oh dear, I don't really know how to get back down. Oh dear, I should have thought of that before I started looking at the sky in that longing way. Can somebody help me? I'm a little bit stuck. And so everyone pulled her back down. And so everyone was starting to feel a little bit crazy by now because they were thinking, well, what is going on and where have all these superpowers come from? At this point, Aunty Lisa was frankly feeling left out, as was JB. Although JB was about to discover that she wasn't left out at all. They carried along on their way. And just as they turned the next corner, they saw something amazing. And it was a pteranodon. And the pteranodon was flying towards them. And everyone went, oh no, the pteranodon's going to eat you. How did the pteranodon even get out? And the pteranodon was flying straight towards JB. And JB was like, uh-oh, you guys. And then she stopped for a moment and she went like this. And she didn't know why she was doing it. And the pteranodon went and sat down next to her and let her climb on top of his back and flew away. And everyone went, whoa, JB, I think your superpower is the ability to control animals and hypnotize them. That's super cool. Cool. Well, after that, the only person left with no superpowers was Aunty Lisa, and she felt a little bit sad. But then she realised that actually maybe she was not so worried about having a superpower after all, until something crazy happened, which was that a boulder started falling down off the edge of the mountain that was in the middle of Jurassic World. That is also a volcano. And the boulder was rolling towards everyone. It was a huge, ginormous rock. And everyone was like, ah! And Aleksander and Kristoffer were like, pew, pew, pew. But it wasn't stopping the boulder because the boulder was so crazy heavy and fast moving. It was just making Aleksander and Kristoffer just fly backwards away from the boulder. And the boulder was surely going to smush everybody. But then Aunty Lisa went and caught the boulder. Never happens. Aunty Lisa's not good at catching. And she went, whoa! I do have a superpower. I'm super strong. I've been doing so much Joe Wicks lately. It must have paid off. Okay, where do you want this boulder put, Owen? And Owen, who thought he was the strongest person at Jurassic World, was a little bit jealous, but he said, "Anywhere you like, Auntie Lisa." And so she put it down just on the side of the path. And they said, "This is super weird." And then they got to thinking, where had they all been this morning? JB said, "Uh-oh. I think I know well, remember my cute little friend, the bush baby in the toilet?" And Aunt Lee said, "Yeah, that was so cute and fluffy. Remember his little face? I wanted to squish him." And JB said, "Don't squish him." But, oh yes, he's very cute. "I wonder if there's something going on in my super cool toilet." And so they said, "Well, I think you might be right." And Owen said, "A bush baby? Oh, next to dinosaurs, they are one of my favourite animals in the whole world. They have the biggest eyes and the cutest little faces, and they're so squishy and fluffy." And everyone said, "Yes, Owen, oh my God, you're such a girly boy sometimes." But that's stereotypical and you shouldn't say that. Anyway, Owen loves fluffy creatures. So they all went back to JB's lab and they all peered in the toilet. And sure enough, there was the cutest little bush baby holding onto one of the pipes. And they were like, "Hey, little guy, do you want to come with us?" And the little bush baby was like, "Hmm." And then he disappeared and appeared somewhere else. And GugGug was like, "I can do that too. That's amazing." And the bush baby went, and disappeared again. Reappeared on the other side of the wall. And they were like, "How is he even doing that? Where is this magical power coming from?" And then they thought, I wonder if this very special toilet has been built on a particularly magical patch of ground. And it's given everything that has been in there superpowers. And they had a little think. And they looked at the history of the site. And they discovered something truly amazing. They discovered that before JB's lab had been built there, actually, that had been the house of a witch. And that the witch had left some magical energy all around that area. And those pipes that had led to the water that they'd all washed their hands with very thoroughly, those pipes had gone right through where her magic cauldron would have been. And it must have picked up a little bit of magic along the way. And, of course, the magic maybe was in the water that went into coffee that everybody drank as well. And they thought, "Gosh, JB, your lab is in the luckiest place ever. How long do you think these superpowers will last?" And JB said, "Well, I don't know, because I didn't even notice that I had superpowers until today. But do you know what? We have one more job to do." And they said, "What's that job?" And JB said, "Well, this bush baby's got to have come from somewhere. I can't necessarily keep him as a pet. Although he's very cute. I think he needs some friends." And so everybody decided it would be a good idea to try and figure out where the bush baby come from and find his friends. And so they did their best to catch him. That was near enough impossible because he could zap himself out of everywhere. So instead of catching him, they tempted him out with some special treats that Sky provided, because Sky loves doggy treats. And Sky gave the bush baby some treats, and the bush baby followed her. And then Sky said, "Hey, you know what, guys? I think there's an animal sanctuary near here. Maybe he came from there." And so she led him all the way to the animal sanctuary, where there were other bush babies too. And the little bush baby went and ran all the way over to the other little bush baby cage, or large enclosure. And they said, "Wow, he must have got out of here and got stuck in JB's lab's toilet all this time. What a crazy thing." And the bush baby was reunited with his little bush baby friends. And everyone said, "Well, you know what? I think it's been a very busy day. what we should do is have a nice cup of tea and a sit down. And Nanny said, do you know what? Why don't you all come to our house instead? I don't think I want superpowers for too much longer. It's a bit of an additional worry to my life. And everyone said, okay, Nanny. So they all went to Nanny and GugGug's house and had a cup of tea and a sit down and some biscuits. And that is the end of the story. Bye bye. Love you.